What's up, Onnit family? Here we are with a podcast today with Chris Holds It Down, Holdsworth, and Duane Bang Ludwig. Can we switch your name to a little faster bang on that one? Can we go Duane Bang Ludwig?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
100%.
can we do that? Because it seems to fit your personality a little better. Put a little emphasis in there, like a little surprise. Here we are with Duane Bang Ludwig.
There we go.
Shock people a little bit. It's been a real pleasure hanging out with you guys this week, and happy to have you here on the podcast, of course. And it just occurred to me that I'm looking at this quote that I have on my board that I just wrote down, and it says, "Dig one hole 1,000 feet rather than digging 1,000 holes 1 foot." And I think both of you kind of exemplify that in that you've taken one aspect of your skill set and really just mastered it. And that's been one of the pathways to your success in this game of many different arts. And then, of course, you've rounded out your game in other ways. But talk about that path to mastery in finding one thing and really being absolute best at it that you can.
Well, I'm not sure how much I have mastered. I appreciate the compliment, of course.
As any master would say. Because every master knows there's still a lot more to learn.
Yeah, there's always evolution, typically just from the human species in general. But, of course, with martial arts and now mixed martial arts, it just keeps getting better and better. But, it just comes from the first version I've heard was Bruce Lee's version of saying, he fears the man who practices one kick 10,000 times rather than the man who practices 10,000 kicks one time. Mm-hmm. So, I don't know if I took that or not, but I'm just all about just drilling constant quality reps. It's the only thing I ask my athletes to do the same thing. We find these predictable patterns and common scenarios and stuff in mixed martial arts and intending on or pretending on my fighter and the athlete coming up, find out exactly what combinations I feel will work, what he feels will work, which will be the best mix, and make sure me as a coach is not just trying to change the fighter, but for the fighter to meet me in the middle and make sure I'm having him do or ask him to do certain things that are comfortable for him, find out what those pieces are, and I'll take that, turn it into a drill so that we can rep the hell out of it, however many times. I don't keep count. Yeah, just constant quality, high quality reps. And that's what I tell the guys, man, just, come in and give me quality reps. And there's 4 rules that I ask the guys to follow and show up on time, get better, get tired, and take care of your partner. And the whole get better part, that you're going to get better once you go slow and do the actual techniques correctly. Now, correctly is a big gray area now, so there's so many ways you can do something. So now with that in mind, I ask the guys, look, you hit and don't get hit, and we're good. Or if you get hit, just continue to fight, and we're okay. But so the whole, we're all individual martial artists and athletes and human beings, of course. I want to make sure that the guy is, formulating his style how he needs to be. I'm just a guide to just kind of help them point in what I feel is the correct direction. But and then again, what's the correct direction? We got to figure that out, the gray area of martial arts. So it's kind of it's a little bit of a mystery, man. It's fun to work with all these different athletes at Team Alpha Male, and the call, the injury I had from my last fight, I was kind of pulled out of the fight game that I didn't really want to be in much longer anyway. So just like I thought, having being pulled away from the martial arts in the combative side, and turning into coaching now, it's been one of the best things I've ever done, for sure.
Sure, you can hear that story echoed in Freddie Roach's story.
Yes.
He gets knocked out, has a tough go at the end of his boxing career, has to cut that off. But really, his true path, the best path to his mastery was not as a fighter himself, but as a coach. Mm-hmm. And you were a great fighter. Nothing to take that away. You got the record for the fastest knockout in the UFC.
Right.
So obviously, cool. You were successful there. But it really seems getting your Coach of the Year honors and everything that's come to you, your path to mastery and your life path, your best way to actualize your potential was not necessarily being the one throwing the punches, though you're really fucking good at that, but teaching and guiding many other people to do the same.
Yes, sir, 100%. I feel I excel in the area of instructing martial arts and adapting to each individual athlete, and again, having them do what I feel they should do naturally, going off their natural intuition. So, and of course, I feel like I had a decent career as a martial art combative athlete. With my I got the 2 world titles, which mean a lot to me, more so than the fastest knockout. But just one of those things.
And the world title's in Muay Thai.
I have a world title in Muay Thai for the ISK, and then I have a world title in mixed martial arts as well. As one of the first guys to beat Jens Pulver when he was at the top.
Nice.
So that was so actually when I was a kid, when I was 15, I made a promise I was going to win a world title. And it was just in kickboxing. Mixed martial arts was not in my life at all. Like William was around at the time, and so that was just my focus. I'm very black and white. If I say I'm going to do something, I do it. And I went for the world title against Alex Gong the first time, and I lost a split decision. And I was just like, that was heartbroken, just so pissed off. And then about 2 or 3 years after that, I won my first world title, which was the mixed martial arts title against Jens Pulver. But, it was a world title. It was in martial arts, but it wasn't kickboxing when I said when I was 15. So I'm like, fuck that.
Damn it.
Yeah, so.
I said something different. Most people would be like, it's kind of fucking same thing. I was a kid. Like, I didn't know.
Yeah,
I said it to myself. I can't change that.
Yeah.
I know what I said.
So it was good, man. I use that as my own reference point. If you're going to say you're going to do something, do it. And then I got the mixed martial arts title. And then, I lost the decision to the kickboxing world title against Alex Song. And he ended up passing away. So then title became vacant. And I think I was his last fight. And the title became vacant. And I fought a guy from Thailand, Malaparasilpram, who was living in the U.S. at the time. And we had a 5-round war, but I was in his face and broke his heart, and took a spirit and was able to win a decision.
Sounds like Highlander.
It was awesome, 100% probably,
like
right?
Yeah,
You're mad. Yeah, you can.
Aubrey took my soul.
Right? He's good, man. He's good at that challenge. I see why you have that challenge. Undefeated.
We should have put something really worthy on the line, like your Tinder account. That would have really.
I would have went all out for that.
Just for the record, that's not my Tinder account. My is Duane Ludwig.
So, Chris, you have a really interesting story. A lot of us got to watch you and actually see a lot more of you than we would a normal fighter because of your path on The Ultimate Fighter. And one thing that stood out is just your relentless focus on just doing what you needed to do and not getting distracted. It seems like hearing stories about you've kind of always had that. So take us through your path. I hear stories that you would just show up at the dojo and just not leave all day.
Yeah, I've had an interesting story, to say the least. Like you were saying, I appreciate the compliment about the whole mastery thing, but I don't think you can really become a master in anything because there's always room for improvement, always room to evolve and becoming a better person or a better martial artist.
Sure.
So for me, I think what helped me a lot to get good, get good at jiu-jitsu, as soon as I got picked on a lot as a kid, and that was something that really affected me. I didn't really show it too much, but it deep down inside it kind of.
And now you get picked on as an adult by your teammates, like Danny Castillo.
But now I just have a little bit thicker skin, and I can take it a little bit better. And
you can choke them.
Yeah.
We spar on Wednesdays too, so
yeah, we can let out the anger a little bit easier now.
Yeah.
But in high school, for some reason, I just got picked on a lot, and it really bothered me and really messed with my self-confidence a little bit. So I was a big WWF fan at the time, and
Who'd you like?
I like Shawn Michaels, Bret the Hitman Hart. I was a big Rock fan, Hulk Hogan, of course. But my dad had joint custody, so it was our deal to go to his house on the weekends. And it was just like a little vacation for my mom. We got to watch videos and eat pizza and all types of cool stuff. So one Friday, I didn't get to go to my dad's on time or something. So I was like, Dad, just go to the video store and pick out a Royal Rumble and let's watch that. But he ended up grabbing the wrong one. It was UFC 1.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and he was
crazy.
like, oh, and I was all mad. I was like, Dad, this isn't Royal Rumble. Let's go return. He's like, no, son, let's watch this. I heard about this.
And then you saw a sumo wrestler.
Yeah, I heard about these Brazilians that are really good. And I saw Hoist Gracie, frail guy, kind of like.
How old were you then?
I was probably 14 or 15 years old, and I saw Hoist Gracie, kind of skinny, lanky guy like me, choking everyone out, and I was just like, Dad, that's what I want to do. And for me, I think I really fell in love with jiu-jitsu or Gracie jiu-jitsu, and I really had a passion for it. And I think that's really important. If you want to get good at something, you have to love it. You have to have a passion for it, and you have to have something that's driving you to keep doing it. Because doing something every day or doing something a lot, can take a toll on you mentally, physically, emotionally. So, but if you love it, I think it's a little bit different story or a little bit different aspect, and you can just kind of keep doing it because you just like doing it so much.
So some part of you started as this way. You saw, okay, this little guy can beat all of these big guys, and you wanted that in your life to be able to feel in control of the bullying, anybody picking on you, being able to do that. But then at a certain point, you probably got to that level, and then it was just about the love. When did that transition happen? When did you realize all of a sudden, like, oh, okay, well now I'm not getting picked on anymore, but I really fucking love this, and I want to see how far it goes?
I realized that the first time I did jiu-jitsu class. Yeah. I rolled with this guy. I was probably 130 pounds, soaking wet, and I rolled with this 200-pound Kempo brown belt. And, he was just starting with jiu-jitsu myself, and I ended up tapping him out with a triangle. And I was
How'd you get a triangle the first day?
It was just weird. I had my legs locked up and just kind of scissors his head a little bit. And it wasn't like a good triangle, but it was definitely like I used my legs to squeeze his head and kind of pull his head down. I had saw it, after I watched that first UFC, I did a little research and saw a couple videos, and I just kind of saw the triangle, and I just tried it that day. He'd even show it in class, and I was like, wait a minute, I kind of like this. He tapped out. I tapped out a bigger guy, and I was like, yeah, let's
it's interesting to hear that, because you got to realize that you probably had a gift for jiu-jitsu, because to be able to watch a triangle and see it on TV, and then or see it in the fucking internet or wherever you saw it, and then be like, and then pull it off in a live grappling match without ever having done it. Somehow the way that your brain works and the way that it communicates with your body was pretty tailor-made to that sport.
I think that was another big thing for me too. Is like, my mom had me playing basketball growing up. Like I was going to be an NBA player.
I saw that. That did not look very good at all. You took a 3-pointer that went 4 feet above the backboard.
Robbery, man. I thought we were going to keep that. on the DL, bro. Come on, man. But yeah, I used to be like decent. I was a good defensive player more than an offensive player. But
I hope so.
And then I played football as a kid, and I was never the standout guy. I was decent at that stuff, but I was never like the standout. But when I found martial arts and jiu-jitsu, like right away, I felt like I stood out a little bit more, and I had natural ability and natural talent. And I think that kind of sparked the fire under me and made me enjoy it even more. Like, oh man, I'm actually good at this. Let me get better. And that's what kind of sparked the fire and just really like created that, that mission to just get my black belt in jiu-jitsu and compete.
So as Duane did you have a point where you said, I'm going to get my fucking black belt, and you made a promise to yourself, or how did that go? How did you keep that goal system?
That was the first day. Like that
was the first day as well.
First day when I got that, and after that little the leg choke I got, I ended up tapping this guy out with just a headlock, a bully headlock. So I got 2 submissions the first day, and that there just made my whole week. I was just like,
you're still smiling about it.
Yeah. I was just like, I was telling everyone, and it just like I said, it sparked that fire. I was there the next day, and I was doing Hawaiian. It was a Hawaiian Kempo dojo. So we would do katas and do the Hawaiian Kempo, and then every time the senseis was like, hey, all right, what Waz is doing? I was like, let's roll, man. Like, let's get on the mat and do some jiu-jitsu, or let's box or do something. So I always wanted to be physical. I always wanted to roll around and stuff, and the Kempo guys would always just look at me, you know Waza 1 through 10 yet? I'm like, no, I know an armbar though. Like, you want to roll?
What you got on my deckers?
How about you, Duane? When did you realize you had an incredible aptitude for the striking arts?
Probably when I first watched Ninja Turtles or the Bruce Lee movies. I just was infatuated by the Rocky movies and just the arts in general. And I started off in Kyokushin karate when I was 8, and I did that for a while. And then I did Thai boxing when I was 15.
Kyokushin is an interesting sport, right? Because it's full contact, but not to the face.
Correct. Well, no punches to the face.
Right.
You punch the body.
And it's bare knuckle a lot of times too, right?
Yeah, 100% bare knuckle. Yeah, that's why there's no punches to the face. Well, actually, I'm not quite sure why there's no punches to the face, but slow down. I get excited, man. I talk fast as hell and don't know what the hell I'm saying.
So at what point did you start sparring in Kyokushin?
I'm not sure. I don't remember. But Thai boxing, I don't know if he sparred, but I think it was in America, and it was, I'm not going to say watered down, but we were kids, so it was self-controlled properly. So we didn't actually spar hard. But the Thai boxing, though, like we used to get after it in the Thai boxing.
And when did you realize, like, was it something you were like, holy shit, I'm good at this? Or was it just something that you kept doing and slowly got better over time?
I'm still, not quite sure how good I am. I was always trying to improve. That was never really like, it just like, I knew that's what my passion was for. And what I wanted to do was martial arts. And I found something that I felt I belonged to, and it belonged to me. And that's, I still have a little bit like questions in my mind if I picked martial arts or if it picked me, when I came into the journey of this world, and kind of, I'm not quite sure how much destiny is predetermined or how much you make of it. But I'll tell you one thing now, like I'm making certain things happen through my martial arts, which I think was, given to me. I think I was born to be a martial artist 100% on this rock, to teach martial arts and be a martial artist and be a good leader and a guider for sure, 100%. So with that in mind, though, I'm still figuring out like if I picked it or if it picked me, I don't know. But either way, I'm happy, man. I'm happy now coaching guys. Yeah, it's good, man. I love it. Living through Team Off Mel and all these guys, and I have dedicated world-class athletes. I don't have to babysit these guys. They come in shape. They work hard. They show up on time. They show respect. They do what they're supposed to do. So as far as a coaching standpoint, I'm a very lucky coach for sure, because I think the recipe for a successful combative martial artist is to be, you got to be athletic at some point. You have to have some athleticism. Have the proper information, which is me. I know whether it's boastful or not. I know, I'm not saying I'm the best guy, but what I do know and what I teach the guys is correct, and it produces high percentage. Mm-hmm. And they're dedicated for sure, but also some traditional martial arts honor and respect. I think those 4 pieces, and the martial arts honor and respect, is for the accountability issue. And I want to make sure that those 4 recipes there. So a little bit of athleticism, proper information, dedication, and some traditional martial arts there with honor and respect. I ask the guys to be on and off the mat and show respect, and drill good with each other, and just be martial artists and accountable.
Oh, and you can see that. And you can see that in how you go. I mean, these guys hanging out with everybody all week, it's a lot of jokes, it's a lot of fun. But then when it's time to work, mm-hmm. it's time to work. I mean, there's no, it's just a whole different kind of mindset. When you guys are ready to go, you just turn it on. And it's, instead of being like, when are we done? It's like a couple more reps,
yes.
couple more reps. Let's get a couple more of these in. Yeah. I didn't quite get enough of these. Let's get a couple more. Yes. You can see that always kind of pushing to do it. And I think that's a real key to success.
Yep. Well, I have dedicated athletes now, and some of them are martial artists from the get-go, and then now I think others are becoming more of martial artists, which I think is something I'd like to see more in mixed martial arts, is more of the martial art aspect.
Yeah, that's one thing I respect a lot about Duane. I didn't want to cut him off.
Yeah,
in his story.
Very respectful. Just cutting off since.
I really like some coaches are just a coach. They're there to get paid. They're there to run you through the motions and collect their check. But one thing I really respect about Duane is he really cares about his fighters. He really cares about his athletes. And he's a true martial artist, just like I think of as myself. I'm a true martial artist. Those are his roots, and I really respect that. And I think that needs to transition over into the fight world. Being a martial artist and always evolving and being respectful.
Yeah, there's a couple layers to that for sure. But we all come from different backgrounds. Most, not necessarily most, but a high percentage of martial artists are wrestlers. They're just wrestlers, and as wrestlers, I don't think there was as much I can say, I guess, rules to follow, as much accountability. I'm not
there was the discipline, but in a different way.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yes, yeah, and that's one thing to that transitions well into mixed martial arts is to work hard. Like, there's no BS to wrestlers. They get in and they get after it, which is awesome. Which is like most of the guys Team Off Mel, they're all predominantly wrestlers, so they have the work ethic for sure. Just be showing up on time and taking care of each other and picking up the trash and doing what you need to do, other little things like that. It's just setting somewhat of a good example 24/7.
Yeah. So what would you say as far as your path, going down the jiu-jitsu route? There's a couple very strong examples of great fighters doing that now. But, how do you feel like that's going to play as an advantage to you as you kind of move through the ranks here, which it looks like you're certainly on the way to doing?
I think there's some advantages to it. I think I think my skills are at a point now where I can finish a fight from anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
I can finish a fight from standing. I can finish it from the ground, which a lot of other fighters might be only able to finish it from one aspect of the fight.
Yeah.
Like, they're really good stand-up guys, but their jiu-jitsu is just maybe a defensive sort of jiu-jitsu where they can just defend stuff, but they can't really attack. And for me, my game, I think, is a little bit different where I have striking skills, and I have the skills to knock someone out or finish someone on the feet. But then if it hits the ground, if I see an opportunity, I'm gonna jump on it, and I'm a finisher. I go after the finish. Any chance I see where there's an opportunity to finish, oh no, I want to ground and pound this guy out and get it.
Yeah.
No, if I see a submission, I'm attacking that thing.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get in there and get out and get paid. That's the most important thing, and not get injured.
A healthy victory.
Why go into the fight? I'm gonna, of course, it's important to give the fans a great fight. But if I'm gonna go in there and
fans want to finish,
I want to have a 3-round war. No, I'm trying to go in there, finish this guy as fast as possible, get out of there with no injuries, and be back in the gym on Monday. That's just my mindset. That's how I've always been. And I think after every one of my fights, except maybe this last one, I train the next day. Even in the house, at my fights, I was training that night, the next day. That's just the way I've always been. And I think that's what's helped me be successful and what's helped me evolve and just get better. It's just always being persistent, always being consistent, and just getting in there and just grinding it out.
Well, it seems like a pretty ideal formula. You got your jiu-jitsu black belt, one of the best, jiu-jitsu players in the MMA game. I mean, there's some other black belts in there, but obviously at an extremely high level there. And then you got the best striking coach in the game there teaching you striking. And you're in a house full of fucking savage little wrestlers all trying to take you down at all possible times. So it's kind of like the perfect complement to your game to have your jiu-jitsu base, be with the best striking coach, and then got people like TJ Dillashaw trying to throw you around all over the place.
It really is, a great atmosphere and environment that, I was able to find and kind of put myself and involve myself with. Just all the training partners and all the good wrestlers and, the awesome coaching staff, Duane, and like you said, building that skill set, the jiu-jitsu black belt, and having a little bit of a striking background before the jiu-jitsu with the Kempo and all that, Taekwondo, but then coming to Team Alpha Male and then just really working with all these wrestlers and having Duane come and working his Bang Muay Thai system, I just think, I'm just going to keep evolving and becoming a better mixed martial artist, which is the ultimate goal.
Yeah, that's 100%. That's just what happens with quality reps of, aspect small areas for sure. There's no choice but the fighters on the mat to get better. There's no choice but to get better 100%. That's what's cool. You come in, you put in the reps, you will get better 100%. That's what's awesome.
It's kind of an enviable position, you guys, in looking at the outside, is because most people don't get that kind of real family kind of tribe feeling.
Yeah.
And I've been fortunate enough to cultivate a bit of that here in Onnit.
Yeah,
and you guys have it. Yeah, you guys have it too with your team. But so many people feel so alone, and that they're kind of just going through their journey on their own. Maybe they have a coworker that they bullshit with or whatever. But that sense of tribe, which you guys have been able to do, and we've been fortunate enough to get a piece of here, I think is so important to the humans, and it's cool to see that you guys have that.
Connected with something with somebody, right? And that's I'll tell you what, man. There's a special time in martial arts history right now that's going on at Team Alpha Male for sure. Like there's just something special going on out there right now for 100%. What we have now with the wrestling mix, the jiu-jitsu mix, the striking mix. And the dedication and just every aspect to be a world champion, we have 100%.
Have you guys addressed what happens when you guys have a champion and then a number one contender at the same weight class?
Yes.
What's the thought?
Sparring's on Wednesday. It happens every week. No, I'll let the guys. I haven't actually sat down with them. We say things in passing and stuff, but that's a bit of an interesting subject for sure. But for the most part, 135-pound guy that's going to win the belt will be TJ, probably at the end of the year, the beginning of next year, depending on the time zone, and then Chad, hopefully when he gets a shot here soon sometime, he'll be the champion at 45, so that'll be good. And then Benavidez is at 25, so our top guys in the weight class right now. Because when Sticks, I think the potential matchup will be Sticks, will be Chris Holdsworth and TJ down the line. That's the only matchup that could potentially happen.
So that's the conflict that you guys are seeing.
But that's like in what I see as far as timeline, I see TJ win the belt at the end of this year or the beginning of next year. And then I'd say Sticks, I like to see Sticks fight, be title contention in about 2 years, maybe 3 years or so. Maybe not even that.
We're on different time scales right now. TJ's already been in the UFC. He's already got 5 or so wins in the UFC, and I've only had one fight. So he's way up here on the ladder, and I'm still down here working my way up. So I still got some time. I'm in no rush to get up there. I'm going to keep taking it fight as a fight and just keep working my way up the ladder. And just keep
and the other thing too with Sticks with Chris Holdsworth is he's still growing, and 35 is a little bit of a cut, and we haven't talked about this much, but I wouldn't mind seeing him at 45 here in the future. But that'd be his decision, of course.
He's right. I have a
most
big
of the time
frame.
I'm right.
I get pretty big. I like to eat.
He enjoys life.
Some people they're so used to seeing me at that skinny 135 state, and then when they see me at my normal weight, they're like, "Whoa!" They're
What do you weigh? What do you weigh right now?
I'm probably close to 160.
Yeah.
I think I hit under 160 this last week. But I heard Barao gets up, heavier than Jose Aldo. But for me, I don't like, always cutting that much weight and I think that's bad for your body. And tell you the truth, I feel strong and I feel really good at this heavier weight where I'm feeding my body and I'm not restricted on certain things, and I like having fun when I'm training or when I'm getting ready for a fight.
Sure.
And when I'm dieting or cutting weight, it's not fun. It really isn't.
100%.
That's really important for me to have fun what I'm doing and to enjoy what I'm doing. Because if you're not enjoying it, if you're not loving what you're doing, you need to find something else.
Because that's the thing as a mixed martial artist and as a combative mixed martial artist is the typical career span is about 10 years. And I'd like to enjoy that 10 years, you know, have the guys enjoy it. Because I didn't enjoy much of my martial art path journey strictly because of the dieting. When I stepped on the mat, it was to lose weight, not to become better, not to get better as a martial artist.
Right.
So when I you know, I set those 4 rules: show up on time, get better, get tired, take care of your partner. I'm actually wish I was telling myself that before. 'Cause like when I go to the gym, like I used to go to the gym and think I'm fucking somebody up today, like I'm hurting somebody, and that was the wrong mindset. You know, I wasn't being a good partner, and then I would just do that at a high pace just so I could lose weight. So it was like 2 things, and I wasn't really working on techniques because like, as long as I've been rolling for, you know, like, I don't know, 12, 13 years, I should be a black belt by now. But I'm not even a black belt, not at all. Everything I do is no-gi and just learning how to defend submissions, defend the takedowns, rather than getting in there, becoming the wrestler, becoming the jiu-jitsu practitioner. So,
well, your mistakes can then lead to, you know, advantages for the people you coach. You
Now
can
it has
draw
to.
back on that 100%. And say,
Yeah.
you know, look, I didn't quite do this right, but I know now because
correct.
I've done both ways.
100%.
Yeah,
That's what makes
I think that's
a little
important too. Like, you know, having Duane, you know, having his journey or all his experiences he's gone through, he can share some of that stuff with us and help us not make the same decisions he made to, you know, make us be better persons or better athletes. And I think that's helped me a lot. You know, just the guidance from Duane and telling me to do certain things or not doing this or just leading me or pointing me in the right direction has helped me a lot.
Yeah, speaking of the weight cut, there's an interesting thing. I was talking to Mike Dolce about it, and he's saying that he really gets to know his fighters, his people, at the point where they're at the very terminal end of that weight cut, that final water cut, where they're at the very last drop of hydration.
A lot of people break. You know, people think it's easy to, you know, to cut weight or to.
I don't know which people think it's easy.
Or to diet. The people watching, you know, the people that comment on people who miss weight.
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
that make fun of people.
Yeah, you try it,
It's like,
bitch.
Hey, you try cutting 20 pounds in a short period of time, and we'll see who's laughing or making fun of each other. But I don't think if you've never been through that or been through cutting weight, I really don't think you have the opportunity to make fun of someone who missed weight, because it's really hard, and sometimes things go wrong. Your body shuts down. You missed one thing on your schedule. Your whole weight cut could be wrong. So.
Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah, definitely. As far as Mike Dolce is saying, you know, you're getting a very dehydrated, you know, someone in a state of desperate, you know, despair for sure. At that point, you know, when they're just desperate, and you get to know who they actually are. They're not really thinking too clearly. They kind of go after the subconscious and stuff, and just saying and reacting. So you get to know if they're what type of person they are, though. Is all. For the most part.
Yeah, well, people break, or some you know, he talks about with some people, you know, some really calm, cool person comes out, like just the very essence of that human being can be seen. Like sometimes it goes into panic, and that the animal just freaks out, like I gotta eat. And you've seen that happen. We saw it on this last show. There was somebody.
2 people. That was the first season ever where 2 people did not make
and you could
weight.
just see them. You could just see the animal inside them panic, and then they go, and then they're crushed because they allowed those instincts to go. But then, you know, at least talking to Mike, you know, you go through a weight cut. Yeah, you have to wade through some of the fucking angry comments and sift through all that. But there'll come a point where it's just like that person at their very essence. And I think that's kind of a cool thing, you know, getting to know what's underneath all of that surface that you have. What are you at your very core, at the very most challenging point?
Yeah, you know, I don't know how well you get to know them. That's definitely another, you know, look. But you're dealing with somebody who's in need. So now, you know, they're going to be nice for the most part, right? I want to deal with someone who's in need also, and then deal with someone who's at the top of their game, and then judge that experience hand in hand, right? So
see how they act when they're
I think
the champion, and see how they act.
Character comes out, you know, when you see them at their lowest.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know.
Hardships.
I guess that's always going to be a little bit different.
Out.
Yeah, could be.
So what are some of the things that you guys seem very much self-motivated? But let's say for you, Duane, you know, as you're looking ahead, you just got Coach of the Year.
Yes, sir.
You know, what's going to keep you because I see you, you know, we've been hanging around, but even before the podcast, you're thinking about combinations in your head. You're going through stuff constantly. Is that just something that you think is going to be with you innately, or are there other goals you set that you have? Like, I want to make sure I do this. How do you stay motivated?
I don't know if it's just OCD or what, but I'm just whatever I set my mind to, I go after it. But I go after things aggressively just from the fight nature, and I don't know, you know, what that stems from. But so I got to learn to be like, now as I'm stepping more into like the business field and things, and I have to make sure that I'm dealing with things calmly, of course, and not just getting aggressive over things, and make sure that, you know, it's it just depends on what the goal of the situation is. But I just tend to go after things aggressively, and I've just always been motivated by my goal, whatever that goal is. And now,
what is the goal?
Right now, my goal is to live a long, healthy, happy, and productive life with my family, and that's going to happen by taking care of myself first, my family, my athletes, and then my big Muay Thai business. And it's three aspects. It's me, my family, my team, and my athletes. But it's all together. Like, to me, I see it all as a family, just different layers. So I know if I take care of myself, then I can go ahead and make sure I'm watching the films and studying for my opponents or my fighters' opponents, and doing the drills and combinations and pulling some information, putting it to my big Muay Thai program, and pulling things from my big Muay Thai program that are going to help these fighters fight also. So it all works hand in hand, which goes back and takes care of my family and I. So it all works together for me. My life is me and my family and martial arts in two aspects: my fight team and my affiliate business. That's it. So I'm 100% martial artist, 24/7. It's just what I do. It's what I've always done, and I'm just happy that I can live off of that and help encourage other people's goals and make lives and make if I could the whole thing change someone's life, like that's really fucking true and awesome. It's
sure.
awesome. And as a fighter, for me, like, I feel I'm a good-hearted, good person, and as a fighter, you have to be selfish. So when I was fighting, I wasn't truly happy because, one, I was hurting people, like intentionally trying to hurt people, and I'd like to do that. I used to like to do that, but then I felt bad about it also. So now I'm in I'm in the position now where I'm helping other people achieve their goals and become better martial artists, even though they're actually beating up other humans, which is actually that for real is a little bit strange for me. Like, I try not to actually look at that point. Just 'cause I was watching Mizugaki studying Mizugaki's film for TJ.
And I explained, reiterated on the podcast, to me, what you're doing is you're providing the best resistance you possibly can so that other person can measure themselves and become better as well. You have to have the diamond grindstone to sharpen the sword.
100%.
There's the only way. What you guys are doing is, yes, it's a sport, and yes, it's violent, but it's taking you to the edge of your human potential. And without other great competition, it's not going to happen. Chris Holdsworth could go into amateur MMA, fight amateur MMA his whole life. It's going to do nothing for him. It's going to do nothing until he gets to that motherfucker that's a real motherfucker. And then, he finds out what's deepest inside his gas tank. Like we saw with Hendricks in that fifth round, it's 2-2. He won the first two, Lawler won the second. It's championship round. He hasn't really got a takedown that really worked the whole fight, and they're trading punches, and he fucking finds a way to dig deep and secure that takedown. Without the Robbie Lawler to push him to do that, he doesn't get to find that out about himself. Correct. He doesn't get to express it. So it's kind of there's the collateral damage is some violence, but really what it is just providing that deepest resistance so that everybody can get better.
100%.
And you owe it to your opponent to do that. Because if you don't, you're doing them a disservice.
Yeah, I get that. 100%. I definitely am with you on that one. It's still.
Yeah, I hear you. So Chris, sure. you got a lot of kind of fame, celebrity overnight. How has that been? We've talked about some stories we won't even repeat on air, but it's had to be a different kind of paradigm where you're all of a sudden, now people know you. Now you get recognized, and now it's a different game, right? How's that been?
It's definitely cool to see your hard work recognized now, and just see all the time and effort I've put into martial arts and fighting, to people just to kind of recognize it and to give me my my cahoots or my congrats now that it's kind of
cahoots. I don't think you used that word correctly.
I tried. A for effort.
My own words all the time.
I mean, it's made sense. It sounded right, like
what
syllabically,
but yeah, like people say, how much has your life changed since becoming the Ultimate Fighter? And to tell you the truth, I paid off a couple credit cards and I got to see the dentist. So that's the only thing that really changed for me, is to get my teeth worked on. And stuff like that, and
what a great goal! Yeah. I won the Ultimate Fighter, and I got to go to the dentist.
Yeah, nothing much has changed. I haven't let it change me. I'm the same person, and I think
and that's one thing that's really admirable about you. You're a fucking rock. Like no matter, you can see that in the show. All of this, everything else is swaying like bamboo in the breeze, rattling and everything, and you're just like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
whatever.
I definitely have my joking side, and I like to have fun and smile and giggle and stuff like that. But
we saw that last night too.
Oh yeah,
all kinds of stories that we cannot repeat on the Onnit podcast.
You'll see that a lot. I definitely like to party and have fun, but for the most important thing is when it's time to get serious, I get serious. Yeah. And
he's dedicated.
I'm not the guy that's gonna walk out with a smile on my face and be laughing inside the octagon. When it's time to go, it's time to go. And I put my game face on. And I get in there and I do what needs to be done.
Well, all the guys, they all like to joke around and they make jokes. But one thing, the universal respect they have for you, and one thing they all say is, you're always either stretching or rolling out or working on. Even them who are extremely dedicated athletes, they admire your pursuit of dedication to your body and your craft and everything like that. And then for them to say that, I mean, it's easy for someone like us to say that, oh, wow, dedicated. I can say that about everybody. But for your peers to say that, I think that speaks a lot to kind of your mentality, and it's something that all of us could admire.
Yeah, it's funny because Danny would make fun of me stretching or foam rolling or something like that, which I'm used to. But when I look at it, I'm like, hey man, I'm the one that that's helping my body, and I'm gonna recover better tonight and get some better sleep, and I'm gonna come back hard and train tomorrow.
Sure.
And
he does it his way. He's gone gluten free. He's he's more.
He's looking good,
he's watching his diet. I mean, everybody has their own way.
Yeah, everyone has their own ways. What works
for
for them. But I definitely do think stretching and foam rolling, all that stuff, it works. It definitely works. It makes me feel better. It makes me keep my flexibility, which I think is really important in fighting. And it's helped me a lot, so I'm going to keep doing it.
Beautiful. All right, guys, as we wrap up this podcast here, it is the Onnit podcast. Chris, you've been a huge supporter. I see you popping up on tweets and posts and everything, and we certainly appreciate that.
Any other person.
Yeah, likewise. So, that's awesome. How is kind of getting to know Onnit? How has that helped you on your path?
Man, I'm a firm believer in supporting people or companies that I actually believe in, and that I use myself, and that's helped me just become a better person or a better athlete. And honestly, it's been great for me. Like I said before, I used Shroom Tech Sport and Alpha Brain before every fight on The Ultimate Fighter. And I'm not saying this just to plug. I actually did. I was actually passing some Alpha Brain to some of the fighters in there. That I like, hey, try this out. And I've introduced a lot of people to your products, and I think it's changed a lot of people's lives for the better, and it's going to keep doing that. I use all that stuff, man. I love the hemp force. I love the bars and just everything, man. I really congratulate and give you guys a round of applause. What you guys are doing over here, it's
you guys are rocking it.
Yeah, it's a great vibe, a great just company, and it's a great lifestyle.
Beautiful. 100%. Thank you, man. Thank you.
Yes,
And you, Duane, you've been a huge supporter as well. What are some of the things that have helped you on your path?
I view Onnit and the products along the same path as my journey as being a mixed martial artist or just a martial artist, because it's about enlightenment and getting better, improvement, and then also just discovering yourself. So it's about, honest, helping people improve, whatever the area may be, mentally and physically, 100%. So it rides right along with my martial art journey and my Bang Muay Thai business and everything, and the team. And, most of the guys are actually on the Onnit stuff, just, not everybody can say.
Or they're trying to get on it.
Yeah. So it's definitely, it's a true, honest product, and I believe in it 100%. And that's why I'm one of the few athletes, I shouldn't say few, but I'm one of the athletes that only works with products and companies that I actually use and trust and believe in. And so I think Onnit for sure, 100%, for making a kick-ass product.
You steal that from me, Duane?
Awesome. No, yeah. You went first. You stole that shit from me, but it's cool, Grasshopper.
Well, it's been an honor. It's been a pleasure getting to know you guys, and I look forward to supporting you in any way that we can through Onnit and personally and however that may go, because I know only greatness lies ahead here, and I'm just looking forward to watching it as a fan and as a friend.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Much love to the Onnit family. Lando, let's take us out of here. Peace.